Hi, I'm Teresa Davis from Liberty University. This is my interpersonal communication project for HSCO 508. Next slide, please. Introduction. What is communication and interpersonal communication? Enlarging the conversation. My overarching goals. How my background and behavioral blend influence my conversation, both positive and negative. Potential barriers in my interpersonal context and how I'm going to deal with each barrier. Identify and provide solution to noise pollutions, internal and external. Plan of action. Next slide, please. What is communication and interpersonal communication? According to Stewart 2012, communication works by having the sender translate the idea into words or some other kind of message. According to Stewart, interpersonal communication is a subset of this general process, a particular kind or type of communication. Communication is continuous, complex, a collaborative process of verbal and nonverbal meaning making, and no one person can be blamed for the outcome. Communication being a vital part of everyday lives, it is important to gain an understanding of an effective concept of communication. Next slide, please. Enlarging the conversation. On a daily basis, there are many ways in which we communicate with others. Any form of information exchange is a form of communication. Some of these include listening, email, writing letters, talking to friends, family, co-workers, and children, and interacting with people through social media. How we respond to people through our communication with them will determine what type of relationship we will have with that person. If we respond to someone in a way that comes across as rude or arrogant, chances are they are not going to listen to what it is you have to share and respond back in a negative way. If we respond to them in a way that is polite and courteous, chances are they will give the same respect within the communication cycle. Burley Allen, 1995, states, "The way you listen to and respond to others will strongly influence how they will respond back to you and how they will feel about your response, such as wanting to continue talking, feeling turned off or understood, tensed or relaxed, etc." Next slide, please. Overarching goals. Improve on my listening skills. Understand that I cannot solve problems for others but help them to gain an understanding in which to solve their own problems. Be aware of my body language, including facial expressions when talking or listening to others. Provide my full attention to the conversation. Do not talk over others when they are sharing in a conversation. Next slide, please. Overarching goals continued. Stewart 2012 states, "When a person is listening empathetically, he or she is receptive or sensitive to the full range of characteristics shared by the other person, but responds only with his or her own interpersonal characteristics." Next slide, please. Behavioral blend. My behavioral blend, according to uniquelyu.com, was S/C. This means that I am passive, task and people-oriented, submissive, competent. According to the SC model, I am the most passive type, but I tend to be reserved in ways which others like. People expect me to be sensitive and competent, but I am more of a servant who takes delight in serving others on a one-on-one basis rather than being the center of attention or up front in a situation. I like accuracy and facts and do not enjoy power-hungry people who are too forward or insensitive. People seem to look up to me because of my warm and compliant qualities. According to the assessment, I am very caring and law-abiding. Next slide, please. Behavioral blend continued. My snapshot report on Quindom shows that I am able to interpret other words and actions and gain an understanding from their perspective. This results in fewer misunderstandings between people. Being able to understand things from others' perspectives allows me to have empathy towards what they are going through and make them feel more comfortable to continue communication. Next slide, please. How my behavioral blend affects my listening skills positively. Positive aspect of having a SC behavioral blend. I enjoy solving problems. I dig for information people don't seem to know. I respond better to those who need my help. I don't respond to those who are dominant or confrontational. I like to please and serve others. I enjoy organizing tasks to improve outcome. I tend to handle conflict better than most, as I do not like disharmony and confusion. Next slide, please. How my behavioral blend affects my listening skills negatively. Negative aspects of having a SC behavioral blend. I often overdo researching. I often seem withdrawn to others. Some may think I am antisocial. I like to do one thing at a time and do it right. I tend to get nervous in front of people. I tend to like one-on-one conversation versus crowds. Carbonell, 2008. Next slide, please. Potential barriers. Physical barriers. Fatigue, low energy, time lag factor which causes fatigue, time of day, late evening. Semantic barriers. Own meaning of words, filtering them through many varied beliefs. Talker uses 500 words and each word has between 20 to 25 meanings. Hearing only what it is you want to hear. Tuning out those things you don't want to hear. Burley Allen. Next slide, please. Potential barriers continued. According to Joseph, 2014, you'd think that after the years and years of associating with hundreds or thousands of people every day, it would be really easy to be able to talk to anyone you meet and communicate effectively. However, a large percentage of people have social anxiety, and even those that do not have anxiety over social situations can still suffer nervousness or meet social barriers from other people. Effective communication is really quite a difficult skill to learn. Even if you think you're already a good communicator, there are so many variables that can affect communication, which people often don't really consider. These variables include both your skills at communication and also how receptive the other party is to communication at the time you try to talk to them. You could be the best communicator in the entire world, but if the other party isn't interested in communicating, you will hit a brick wall. Joseph, 2014. Next slide, please. Noise pollution. Noise pollution, or anything within our surrounding which can interfere with our communication process. There are two types of noise pollution: internal noises, external noises. Next slide, please. Internal noise pollution. Internal noise pollution is the thoughts occurring within our mind that can distract from the conversation. Many times when having a conversation with someone during a time that I have other pressing issues, I find that I am easily distracted trying to figure out how I will manage to get everything done within a certain time frame, which distracts me from giving my full attention to the conversation at hand. Plan of action. I need to clear my mind of all thoughts, as if the person that is sharing their thoughts and ideas with me is the most important object at the moment. Next slide, please. External noise pollution. External noise pollution are noises around us that can distract us from hearing the full conversation. Some of these include talker is not speaking loud enough, talker's body language, loud noises, traffic or machinery, room temperature, too hot or too cold, faulty acoustics making it difficult to hear. Burley Allen. Next slide, please. Plan of action to achieve my overarching goals. Have a complete understanding of what communication and interpersonal communication is and each aspect of them. Set goals for myself and give myself a reminder of these goals. Be aware of my SC behavioral blend and how it affects my listening communication skills. Learn how to more effectively deal with internal and external noise pollution so that they do not interfere with the conversation at hand. Be patient with myself and realize that my communication skills will get better one conversation at a time. Next slide, please.